Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Legion Lads. I'm your host, JR. Today we got Nick and Jose. What's going on, guys?
Happy
Hello, hello.
2025.
Yeah, how was your guys' holidays? We had the holiday break, just kind of spend time with family and everything. How'd it go?
How'd you do, Nick? You're a party animal.
It seems
Well, I don't really have a holiday break. I know the rest of the family gets one, but not me.
they
So,
get you
yeah.
working?
I mean, we're closed one day.
Because you work for the hospital, right? That's why.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, sick people still get sick. That makes sense.
Mm.
What about you, Jose? How's your holidays?
Good. I work in the loss prevention world, so no shortage of holiday craziness when it comes to
Oh yeah.
shoplifters.
I was saying, did you catch a lot of people this year?
Yeah, I started in April and I'm not finished, but I finished a year at oh God, like over 100 people,
Mm,
100 cases.
dang.
So Christmas was wild, dude. I had a guy like get a shopping cart and then like he went into an aisle and then put on a ski mask. I was like, oh no. I went over there, I said, excuse me, sir, I'm gonna need to take this basket from you. Well, why? I just, we just casually put on a ski mask. You're by my emergency exit and you got a full basket. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this to the front when you're ready to pay for it. The manager's like, and he gave it to you. I said, well, what other option did I have? He had a ski mask. At that point, I could get shot, stabbed, robbed. Nobody would know who he was. So
Do
I just
you
took that thing from him.
do you get to carry any kind of weapon like pepper spray,
Heck
baton?
no, bro. We get word foo. I
Jeez,
stop you, and if I can out manipulate you, then I get my stuff back. You're dumb enough to come to the back to get arrested. And if not, like where we live, it's California. You just say F you and you can't touch me and carry on.
that's wild. And like, what's even like dumb of him is that you already seen him on camera with his face. Like, I don't know why putting on a mask right now would change the fact that you've seen his face on camera. That makes
People are
sense.
dumb, dude. Like I've noticed in my career of loss prevention, like there's no end to stupid people.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So
well, sound like you guys are pretty busy on your holidays. So, but definitely, I had a really good time. Got to spend time with family. New Year's is kind of more or less like a normal day for me. It's just like I go to bed early still and go to sleep because I have a little one that wakes me up early in the morning. So it's like that's past me now. I'm over that. I don't know if you guys did anything for New Year's
No, I've
nah,
never.
dude.
ever. Yeah, yeah. We had fireworks go off. I don't know if you guys have fireworks go off in your neighborhoods, but fireworks. We got some young ones in this neighborhood, and they blow up fireworks all the time. Even when it's not any holiday, you'll hear a random firework go off. Just like, okay, all right, we're celebrating something. So. But all right, guys, we got LVO coming up. So we got some predictions we want to go over for the audience, prepping what we expect lists to see and whatnot. But more importantly, I think we need to finally know, Nick, what are
Uh-oh.
you gonna do for LVO this year?
Yeah, the biggest announcement that no one cares about. Um,
The fans want to hear Nick.
They
yeah,
do.
the fan, the one person. Um, yeah, so today I registered on Longshates for Legion.
Oh,
Hey, we
oh!
still got Nick. All right.
You're leaving Jen at home though, right? In protest?
Ah, that's my biggest conundrum right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I bring her? Because I before I was totally bringing her, and
Mm,
now, now 100% confirmed that I'm bringing an inferior product to what it will be.
yeah.
Should I play it still? Um, yeah, I got to figure that out. Yeah, I don't know my list because I want to bring, I'm not trying to go win this thing, right? I
Yeah.
am going to have fun. But at the same time, you do have to bring somewhat of a competitive list. Otherwise, every game will be over by turn two, turn three, and you'll just be kind of sitting around. So I do want at least be able to make a game of it a little bit. So it is a fine balance of bringing a slightly competitive list, but not fully competitive because I still want to bring some things I want to bring, like bringing Jen.
Mm.
Um, so that's what I'll be working on. I got to figure that out. And I
I
don't
was
have much
thinking,
time.
Yeah, so you don't know. Do you have an idea?
Well, yeah, I mean, Din and Grogu,
Hmm.
for sure.
Sleeper
Um,
cells?
I'm bringing
Okay.
my one sleeper cell. I guess I'll
Hmm.
bring one. Bad Batch for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Like I'm bringing Brett, so that's for sure. Like Din and Grogu, Bad Batch, that's for sure. That's like what I want to play.
You know
Um,
what? Sorry, good.
and then yeah, I got to figure out Jin. It's a big one. I got to figure that out.
Yeah, yeah, that's a conundrum right there. It's just hard. I'm really hoping that there's going to be a tournament where you just win out of left field. All of a sudden, you just win and take the whole thing. So this might be your year
No,
right here, 2025.
no, no. I don't even have the mindset for that. It's a different mindset to have, to even like be that focused in something, you know. I don't even have that. Like I don't. I just don't.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. If I recall correctly, you called a judge call on my dice in VetFest. Wait. You
Well,
got
that
that
was
competitive spirit in you.
no, that was me having fun because I knew that'd be
Oh.
fun. I knew that'd be fun that day.
Um, well, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. That means we got, and I know right now, Nick, you're kind of like not into Legion right now because you got the MC thing going and you don't have the full game yet of
Full
Legion.
game.
Yeah.
That and I know it's terrible to think that, but that bothers me so much. It bothers
Yeah.
me so much
Yeah.
that we don't that yeah. But other than that, I do like it. I like the changes. We talked about. I like the changes.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons why I ended up actually saying, okay, I'm going to play Legion is because I've been playing so much MCP
Yeah.
that this will be a chance for me. This will be a good opportunity to actually learn how to play Legion. I haven't played like most of these missions. I have not played, and I'm you get to that level where you know everything, right? And
Yeah.
we were all there, right? We didn't have to
Mhm.
look at the bombing run card or the payload card or anything, right? We knew all the rules. We just knew them. I am nowhere near that. I don't even know what these missions are called. I don't
Mhm.
remember what they do. I haven't played most of them, so this will actually be a great learning experience to like actually like get used to playing these missions, to see the cards and play them. And that's what's kind of funny about a tournament that's so great for that is you get 6, 7 games all at once. It's like a crash course,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
in the game, and you learn, and you actually learn by going to these tournaments. So because I haven't played Legion at all, I'm like, okay, I need to play Legion. This is the best way to get a bunch of games in and learn these rules. So that was actually another factor why I chose it.
I was gonna ask was do you feel kind of relief that there's two tournaments going on right now for LVO? There's one really competitive and one maybe not so much. I mean, I assume there's gonna be competitive players in the GT,
Sure, sure.
but I mean, do you feel like a little bit more relaxed? Like I don't have to, go against JR, in other words,
Um, I wouldn't say relaxed because I was not like not relaxed playing against those players. It's more
Mhm.
just like, oh, I'm gonna lose, but I'm cool with it because I just know, and that's totally fine, right? And then you'll lose and you'll play against someone more your caliber. Um, I think maybe what's is the lists. Maybe I won't see such competitive lists, and that may be a little appealing, right? So even though I'm playing maybe against a better player in the GT, they may not feel like they have to bring the most optimal list, and they might bring maybe just a little slightly more of a fun list, right? Bring a couple 2 units you wouldn't normally see, and that's fun when
Yeah,
you see that.
yeah.
So, because that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to bring something that's competitive, but bring some fun units too. Um, so that's kind of fun. Maybe it's a better game.
And that's
Nothing
where
but
I like
Empire in the GT.
I'm like disagree with you guys a little bit, but I understand from a perspective looking onward into me that I'm really competitive. But I like to think I build fun lists to have fun with that synergize really well. So there's no weakness, right?
A
And that's
fun list for you.
sure.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I say that is because like I love seeing lists that do something different, that are not meta, right? They're just like, hey, this synergizes really well. Like we saw the two Gav tanks with Vader and I think it was Grant that was taking that one with Vader and Palpatine. That was super
Mhm.
cool. You got Lila's list with the Black Suns and everything, like something that's just unique that no one really thought of, or just throwing it in there and it does really well. You got the people's champ, but when people bring meta, you're just like, oh, okay, it's meta. no shade on people bringing meta. People want to win, and it's a
Well,
tournament, so you should absolutely try to win if you want to take the trophy home.
in Grant's defense, his loss came in the second day after everybody figured out how to beat it.
Well, see,
And that's the part that sucked because I was at the table when everybody's going over their battle plans, and once the chicken was out of the hen house, or once the hen was out of the hen house, conveniently he suffered his first loss the next day. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew how to be that. Nobody knew what was going on, and so it's like
that's why.
bedroom talk, and
Well, that's
Legion. Come on.
that's why I'm kind of nervous about the first day for me, because the first day for me isn't the tournament. It's just a fun little tournament for us people that are in the IS. So people are going to see my list, and I think my list has an edge that kind of like, oh, shocks you. But once you know how to play against it, I think I lose that edge, right?
Bring 2 lists.
Can I?
Oh yeah. Oh well, I guess okay. I guess I'm saying this with I'm 80% sure. I don't think you have to
Break the
play.
rules.
Well, no. I don't think you have to play your invitational list in 8-man scrambles. They are their
You can always ask
own.
LJ.
They're their own
Yeah.
separate thing that have nothing to do with the invitational. I could be wrong, and you could ask LJ, but I don't see why you couldn't bring whatever you wanted to that.
Yeah, I'll ask LJ that because that's a really good. Because if I don't have to play my list for the IS, I will play something totally different. I did ask him about unit cards since everything's print to play. Do I have to bring a unit card for each unit, or can I bring one to represent a majority of like 6 Geonosians or something?
I thought
And
you were able to do that as long as you had your printed list that had everything on it.
he said, yeah, you can't. That's exactly what you just said, Jose. But you had to bring everything for that tapped or was expendable, right? And that makes sense. Like if you have 2 HQs in your list, you got to bring both of them to show that one's tapped, one's not tapped. Don't want to confuse your opponent with some shenanigans, which makes sense.
Yeah, cards now that half of it's print and play, half of it's not. I mean, even the objective tokens are technically third party. We're all going to be bringing third party objective, which normally would not be allowed. I mean, normally you'd have to bring the cardboard Legion tokens that you get in your
Well,
core
technically you
box.
can print them on paper
Well,
like you're
that
supposed
that
to.
that is the official objective token. That
That's what
is
I'm
the
saying.
official, but nobody's gonna play with that. So they're not gonna obviously they're gonna allow you to bring your third party.
I feel like GT rules are kind of like the laws in our world, like jaywalking. It's a thing. If you abuse it, we can get you on it, but we don't really care. You know what I mean?
Well, they do care in
Chaos.
that anyone could invoke that rule,
Sure. But
right?
I
So,
feel like there's no real reason to evoke it unless you're like being abusive about it. You know what I mean? Trying to do some shenanigans with the rule.
but you may not know what people are doing, right? If somebody, brought 3D printed objective tokens, right, in the old game,
Mm.
you know, that would be a little that would be odd because to be honest, I don't know if I've ever even seen a 3D printed objective token
I
in
have
old
them.
Legion. Yeah, so but normally you don't see them. But now that's all we have. So that's all you're gonna see. So I think it's just in this kind of state we're in right now where we have this kind of hodgepodge of certain things we have, certain things we don't. Like if someone showed up with 3D printed range tools, I've never seen anyone try that. I'm sure people have, but they could easily you don't know if they're the right length, even to their own, not even them trying to pull anything fast on you, but just like they could be off, right? So you just
Yeah.
bring the
I,
ones that
I
come in the
don't
box.
I don't think there'll ever be a problem with third party POIs, simply for the fact that AMG is yet to produce legal AMG product silhouettes. Those are all third party anyways. So to be like you can't use these third party objective tokens, but you can use these third party silhouettes is stupid.
Well, it depends. It's all about what is an essential component, what is not. So the essential things are like the objective tokens, the dice, the tools, the range tools.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
silhouettes.
no, silhouettes are not. I could be wrong, but we don't double check this. Silhouettes are not an essential
Yeah, because
thing.
that's how you dictate your line of sight when you're shooting from
No,
certain things.
essential is not what you need to play the game. Essential is just these things have to be from AMG. Everything else can be third party.
So
So
how
like
do you?
Dodge
Oh,
tokens.
okay.
Dodge tokens, you need Dodge tokens, but they don't have to be the AMG Dodge tokens. They're not an essential component. So you can bring third party Dodge tokens.
Yeah,
But a silhouette is essential. Like that should be essential. If it's not, that's crazy to me because like that's a core
well,
component you
see,
need to play the game. Because then
I
you get into an argument. Oh, I'm gonna shoot you because I know your silhouette for your shore mortar is taller than that building. Well, I don't have the silhouette, so how can you tell? How do you know? Like shit like that.
I'm on the fence with you, Jose, because like this, I agree with you. The silhouette is kind of like a funky rule now because everything has a silhouette, and
But
it's
they don't provide them.
yeah, they don't provide them, and to me, it's not very clear what's silhouette and what's not. Like speeder bike, it's like the small bike is the silhouette, not the base. Not it doesn't go up like a cylinder. Vehicles all have a silhouette now, and it's just like, well, how can you really tell? Because a good example is ATSCs. ATSCs can be built really tall or really short, right? That's modeling for an advantage. Um, and I hate that. It was to me silhouettes are fine when it was just trooper, and then whatever. I guess you could still do the modeling for advantage for ATSCs the old way too, but um, I don't know. But I agree. Essential tools like the rule range movement, dice even, should all be legal and be provided by AMG because then if somebody 3D prints, then you can be like, is this weighted dice? You know, is this tool long
Yeah.
enough? I
Yeah. So,
do.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I know we have our disagreements with 3D printed, miniatures, right? I don't think it affects the game as much. Trooper wise, I understand vehicle wise, it very much so. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So from the document, so DICE has their own section. They must be, um, official dice. Measuring tools has their own section, and then tokens. There's essential and non-essential. Essential tokens are tokens placed in the battlefield to represent specific effects. These tokens have specific size and are supplied with the units or cards they require them. Non-essential tokens are usually placed in the battlefield and are used to track suppression, wounds, aims, dodges, and other game effects. That's the tokens. In all these sections, there's nothing about like these silhouettes, and that's because they've never produced them, right? So they're not going to put a rule saying you have to bring their silhouette when they've never given you the opportunity to buy a silhouette. Now, if they one day came out with a silhouette pack, it falls on this list, but today it doesn't.
I
Interesting.
just don't understand how you as a company make something a crucial part of the game and are like, yeah, but we're not gonna make that. Like it
Yeah,
blows my mind, dude, because if you were to go to any like if you were to go like in my opinion anyways, if you go to a Legion event and you don't have a silhouette and your opponent doesn't have a silhouette, like you lack the fundamental tools to play the game correctly.
Well,
So, and that's
be-
not provided by the company who made that an essential rule to fundamentally play the game correctly.
so the silhouette, so you could play the game without ever needing silhouettes. I do it all the time. I didn't have a silhouette pulled out in any game at LVO last year. So it's not
sure,
it's you could play Legion without needing a silhouette.
sure, sure.
Nah,
Um,
I'm shooting your Mark II, whether you like it or not. Your
I
opponent not
remember
calling for that
I remember
silhouette.
when they changed that rule. Me and Nick had a game. He hit a Mark II behind a building. I was like, Nick, I'm pretty sure I could see with the long silhouette. And you could see he was just so ticked off that was even a rule. He's like, yeah, I think you can. I killed it without even seeing it because the silhouette's tall enough. I was like, that's such a dumb rule. I like it the one way. It should be one way when it comes to mortars and stuff like that. It should be you could look onward from the silhouette that high, but not the other way around, because that's the advantage of having a mortar. But yeah, it is what it is. You got to punch some rules, I guess. Um, so talking more about LVO, Jose, my man, this is the first year you're not going in 2 years. This is going to be third year technically for you if you were going. And I understand the reason why you're not
Yeah.
going. We kind of already established that, but I did want to ask you. Um, you've kind of been vocal about how you didn't really like the new system and you didn't really feel it. Like you kind of came around to it as you got more games into it,
Hmm.
but I don't think it was enough to gravitate you to keep you because you're now focusing more on MCP. Uh, Elaborate more on that. I'm curious to know.
What do you mean? Like
Just
why I'm
like
playing more MCP?
no, not MCP in general. Just like, do you feel like you just lost love for the game? Like, because like I said, you were more vocal about not
Oh yeah,
liking
yeah.
the
No,
system.
no.
You know what I mean?
No. So I was talking to Roman about this the other day. I was talking to Rob too. Cause you know, we know in our Discord and our messenger chat, like raw every time, you know, Legends has more times than not our local store, Legends Comics and Games in Clovis, California. Check it out if you're ever in town. They do miniature game nights on Saturday. So we always, you know, shoot and chat. Hey, is there's game night? We're pitching on pizza, and then everybody starts doing their looking for games. And poor Rob's like, any Legionnaires playing tonight? And then it's just like crickets. And so my whole thing is that it's twofold. One of them is bigger than the other. My biggest gripe right now is like I'm playing CIS. I got no problem playing CIS. I love playing CIS. Um. But the thing is like a part of it that sucks for me is I don't have access to all five of my factions. And yes, AMG factions, there's five of them. Because I'm and everybody knows this, I am not gonna print shit on paper and cart it around because you're too sorry Nick
Nope,
for the
nope,
words.
nope,
You're too
nope,
fucking
no,
stupid to
no,
produce the card packs prior to your fucking change, you
no.
morons. Um, and that bothers me. That bothers me because my options are, you know, if I want to play Gar, if I want to play any other faction, I gotta walk my ass up to my printer, turn it on, come down, go to AMG's busted website, find the printed documents, wait for that to load, then print them and waste my paper that I'm gonna lose every other day. I'm gonna need to print it 6 or 7 times because it's gonna get messed up in my bag, blah 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 blah. Um, and because I refuse to do that, it's really kind of throughout the some of the fun portion of bringing a faction that I want. I have rebel lists I want to try. I have empire lists I want to try. I'm still messing around with Shadow Collective, but I until AMG comes out with their card pack, their essential card pack with the rest of their stupid game. I can't play my factions. I don't want
Well,
to kill my phone battery to look at everything I need, keep pulling up my list. You know, I don't Legion HQ doesn't work like it used to because I can't save my lists.
Oh,
So
you
whenever
can. No, you can. You can now.
on the new one?
yeah, you can.
Okay, well
Yeah,
Yep.
that
It,
they
it's
changed that
pretty much all back. Pretty much
yeah,
all back.
they changed that like
okay.
a
And
couple months ago. Yeah.
yeah, so and then I you know, this is gonna be blasphemy to some people. I hate Tabletop Admiral. I understand the hard work that goes into it, but I just hate the whole layout, hate the whole setup. Like it's a pain to even look at stuff on there. So anyways, that's part of it. The other portion of it is just like the game itself is boring. There's fun in griefing sometimes. But it's just like I've said from the beginning, they went from one complete extreme in mental fatigue chess matches to run over here and kill shit as fast as you can. And I heard their reason on their stream, less zombie games or whatever, but like I mean it's the same concept. Like you know pretty much if you have the game in the bag or not. And cutting down the turn 0 to into turn 1, making it 5 turns. Like the games are still long, and it's just a slog for me. And like I was telling Roman, like when I'm looking at it from the aspect of I can play a 2 hour 3 hour game of Legion where it's just gonna come down to raw dice, or I can play hour and a half long, 2, 3, 4, 5 model game of MCP. Like I'm gonna play what's funner to me at the time.
That's
Yeah.
the skirmish temptress you're mentioning there. The skirmish game temptress because it's so alluring to play a skirmish game instead of a large war game because it just so little goes into it compared.
No,
I,
Yeah.
that's not
and
that's not true.
But
That's not
but
true
but
because
that's but it is true though. I mean, that to set up and play,
because
I
that's not
get
the,
it though. I get it though.
I've never had a problem with the setup and teardown of the Legion. Never.
No.
And
You don't. It's not that don't have a problem, but you've been seduced by the smaller model
no,
count.
no, because I've played at when I was playing Legion, I was playing Kill Team. Kill Team, original Kill Team was
We
same
don't talk Games Workshop on this.
Anyways, I was playing Kill Team, which was the skirmishiest you can get. I was playing 500-point Legion skirmish games. And like to be honest, like they've even retrofitted the new stuff for skirmish, and I was reading the skirmish cards, and that shit doesn't sound fun either. Like, so
Honestly,
to say it's skirmish, it's not that, because I could play 500, I could play skirmish Legion with less models, less everything, smaller board. It's just the fundamental change
yeah,
is
yeah. So
terrible.
the fundamental of, because we used to throw a lot of skirmish tournaments, and everybody wanted 800-point games, right? Because that's what you want to play in a war game, is a big army, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually agree with Nick. The appeal of a shorter game is so much more higher than, a war game that could take 4 hours, right? Give or take. I think right now, since the rule changes, and in my opinion, the Legion games are much longer than they were when the old Legion. It's just so easy to just be like, I'd rather play Shatterpoint or Marvel Crisis Protocol. That's
But it's
very
not.
appealing.
That's not for me though. Is what I'm
Sure,
saying.
sure. But I mean, I'm just trying to say, like, yeah, I see the appeal hands down. Like, if I was more of a Marvel player, I'd probably be joining playing you guys, because it's just like, yeah, I can play a game, I'm done. Oh, I get another game in, as opposed to one Legion game that can potentially get heated.
But that's the difference though. Like Legion back in the day was the go-to regardless of, because I Legion before the change, I had MCP. Legion before the change, I had Shatterpoint. Legion before the change, I had Kill Team. Legion before the change, I had Pacific Rim. Legion before the change, I had Dark Souls. Legion before the change, I had Doom. I had plenty of games that were smaller, condensed, shorter, and just as fun then as they are now. I still chose Legion. That's what I'm
Okay,
Yeah,
saying.
so
Like it's a
and
big there's a big difference
and
in
you
the way the game is.
you may choose it again. I think that's less about the change and more just the fact that there was change. This always happens. This always
yeah.
happens when you change a game.
Mhm.
People will just instinctively shift their focus sometimes to maybe another game they're also playing, because that's like an opening. It's like an opening
But we
to
were
you've dabbled in this other game and now this one changed, and it is, and it's kind of like it's so funny because what you said earlier, Jose, about not not wanting to print the cards, that is like it's so funny because in the grand scheme of things that is such an unreasonable way to think, but I think the same way too.
no,
I'm
it's
I think
very unreasonable. I understand.
I thought about playing my Empire recently, and I'm like, oh, I gotta print all the cards. I'm like, nah, I won't play Empire. And
Yes,
that is so stupid that we think that way
but
as gamers, but
no,
we
it's
do.
not. It's
But
not. It's not.
no, it
It's not.
is.
Here's
It
why it's
You
not.
want
is.
to know
Here's why
why,
it's not.
Jose?
Hold on.
Jose,
No,
hold on, hold
wait,
on.
wait, wait, wait,
Wait,
wait,
wait,
wait,
wait,
wait.
Jose,
Hold
wait,
on. Hold on.
wait, wait, hold on, hold on. The reason why I think Nick is right about this is because the game that we're playing is a living game that we wanted to consistently change to get better. But you can't always buy a card pack to fix that, right? They can't print it that
But that's
fast.
not the problem. That's not the problem. The
But
problem is this.
I'm just saying
You,
that with a living
you
game, it's kind of the norm that's going to happen eventually. Look at Warhammer. How many prints they had? They had to print and play before they got the new books. You know what I mean? It's just
No,
comes down to the love
Warhammer
of the game.
changes when War. So the thing about Games Workshop is two things, and I speak from this from playing Games Workshop. When you look at 40K, when you look at 40K, you don't the when the game changes, when 40K goes from 7th to 8th edition, they don't say, all right, boys, here's 8th edition, here are all the rules. You gotta wait 6 months before. When they launch the new edition, the books are printed, pre-ordered, ready to go
No,
Wait,
on the
they're
no,
not.
they're
shelves.
No, they're
not.
not.
No,
No,
they're
they're not.
not.
No, they're not.
What?
No,
When
no,
I
they're
when I
No,
transitioned to 8th
no,
edition, my Necron
no,
book was there.
no,
No,
no.
no.
That's no.
Some books are there, but
Yes.
no, they
Yeah.
always start out. And I guess I'll say this, and I don't know
And
about
living
the
document wise,
I don't know about the last edition, but I've played many editions of 40K, and
So
it
I got in
always
7 to 8, and the books were
it's
there.
it no not all the books though. They launch, they give you a one book that has like a generic list for every army, but then you get your books all throughout, and so it's very different, and not even we should even like and I've Games Workshop has a totally different model that it's kind of funny that um they found like the secret sauce a little bit. I say that because they've been around so long and they're so successful, right? They bring out editions like every like 3 years now, like every 2-3 years a new edition. I think another new edition of 40K is coming out soon. The other one just launched like a couple years ago. Could you imagine if we had a new Legion edition dropped on us like every 2-3 years? We'd freak out.
No, but
So
here's the thing
so
we were
it's
talking
just it's a
about.
different animal. It's a different animal.
Here's the thing we were talking about at the shop is like we think we haven't heard nothing from the Bakersfield arena, and we're of the mindset we haven't heard nothing from Grayson. Bakersfield used to be popping all the time. The change happened, and it seems like Bakersfield died. The change happened. It seems like
So
it seems like our scene is going away. And when I was talking
Hold on.
when we were
It's
talking
not
to
gonna go away
Rob.
because I won't let it go away. I will
Well, here's
still
the
be
thing.
playing
No,
Legion.
no, no, no. Yeah, and nobody wants to play you. And
so
so
No,
there's
no,
that. So
you
hold
don't
on.
want to play me. That's
So
different.
we were talking to I was saying how you guys were bringing in like, or not you, but John had like, some guys playing, and then like I guess the change happened and they're like, no, I don't want to learn this all over again. So essentially the change lost a handful of players. Now here's the thing, like I think you got these new players who learned old Legion, not even long enough to have bad habits, just outright refuse to learn Legion again. When I think it should be more understandable for somebody who just got into the game during a transition to want to learn the new stuff.
but that's what I'm saying. That's just natural. So the change to Legion, it could have been the the best game ever invented in mankind. You
It's
still would have
not.
lost. But no. I'm saying it could have been.
Mm,
It still would have lost players.
yeah,
When a game changes, you just naturally lose players.
yeah.
That happens every time.
But this
And
technically isn't the first time the game's changed, and
but
we didn't suffer a player loss this big.
this is a pretty the changes before were small tweaks. This is a totally new game. This is a totally new game compared to what it was before, and that is going to lose players regardless if it's good or not. It could be good, bad, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose those new players like you just mentioned that were like, why do I relearn this? Probably because they have another game they're playing, right?
Yeah.
So that's just natural. So I do agree that you lost people because of the change, but I don't think that's saying that's good or bad. It's just you lost people to change. What will
Well,
happen is things will cycle through. It's cyclical. You'll
Mhm.
get people to come back around. That will happen too as well. You'll get that. And I think the game is good enough to support players wanting to play it again.
And
Especially when everything is out. Especially when they release a core box that a new player can actually buy and start playing the
and
game
that's
with the
that's
rules. Like that's
that's
important too.
Roman's prediction.
Hmm.
Roman is predicting, and I'm not against this. I hope it works out. I'm not holding my breath though. Roman's predicting that when the new stuff comes out and everything starts coming back to market, new core sets, new B2s that aren't sold out and being scalped, all this, when the entire game is out in the summer, he thinks that we'll have a resurgence. I
Hmm.
hope he is
I,
right.
I think
I
so.
agree with them actually. I think that
Mhm.
when because by April we'll have the full game, right? And then people will like get to play the army that they want. And then new units will be coming out, like a core set. I think like people that stay in the game have a love for the game, right? It's just like they love the way the game is played. Like Legion is my first war game, and I love it. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. Um, so I'm like, in other words, Jose, what I'm hearing from you is just that just having to print and then having to relearn the game, it's kind of been a turnoff. It's kind of like because before this whole change, we were kind of stagnant in Legion, right? Because there wasn't a whole lot coming out. It wasn't we've been begging for new missions for years, and then they just dropped this on us like, oh hey, everything's changing, and we were just like, oh, this is exciting, but then now you're really relearning a new game, right? That could be intimidating, right? Because it's very intimidating for me. Like going into this LVO, I don't feel I'm in tip-top shape for this game as I was on my first LVO because there's so much, like you said, Nick, that has changed that I got you on a rule that I didn't know existed, right? And that could be a turnoff to some players to have to relearn the whole game and don't have the time where before it was like for you, Jose, it probably was the back of your head, second nature of just like, oh yeah, I know that's a rule, right? Now you're just like, I don't know if that's a rule, you know? And so I don't know. I do think Roman was probably right. We'll probably see a resurgence
Yeah.
once the question comes up.
Having things to buy, having everything made, having everything out there that is going to be big. But and also I'll even say this. I'll even even if they had all that up front when they made this change, we all would have been happier. We all would have been happier and probably play more. But we probably still would have lost those new players. We probably still would have lost them because that's just like, oh, I got to relearn this all over again. Oh, I've been also playing this game. I'm going to do that for a little while then because I don't want to relearn this all again. You probably still would have lost them even if they had everything out.
And to be honest, like the new players that we kind of lost that John taught, they necessarily haven't lost them. Like we've been talking to them, and they're gonna probably come back and play stuff like that. That's what I love about John. John's great at teaching like a game and just teaching them how to play and stuff like that. Like I think that's where he really shines. Whereas I'm just like, John, I shouldn't play these people. I can't turn off my brain.
Bring a bad list, then you can play them.
Fair, very fair. I do need to start doing that. So yeah, we've been brainstorming ideas to get new players to play and stuff like that because I still think Legion is in a good spot right now. I think it's really fun for players and everything. It's just the alpha strikes, in my opinion, is what turned off people to the game because.
So the question I have is all the tournaments, all the tournaments. Oh, wait, till he's done. My thing is just all the tournaments compared to previous LVO tournaments are like at low time numbers.
That's because change. That's a change. That's just a change.
How could you say that you feel that Legion is in a good spot when their numbers are not reflecting tournaments of the past?
Because it's got to bounce back. It's gonna have to have time to bounce back from that.
Does it? Can it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it can. Because one, when they have new product coming out, that's a big thing. Having things, when things are available to buy, we talked about all things sold out. You can't find it. Nobody's gonna buy into a game that they can't buy product for. So the fact that that Legion is not growing and the tournament's numbers are down, that's not at all surprising at all. That's the case when you can't even buy product from them right now. So many things are sold out. So there's no core box. Those are all things that kind of point to that. So when that happens, when you have product you can buy, you have new product coming out, you'll generate more interest and you'll get newer players. And that does affect the tournament scene. A lot of new players go to tournaments and that's like their kind of big exposure to the game is going to those tournaments. We think it's all just like tournament players, right? But they aren't. There's a lot of players that are gaining the game and going and trying it out at their local scene or at maybe a convention even. So that's important. And you're not going to attract new players if there's nothing from them to buy. They can't even buy the tokens they need to play. So that's all going to lead to those lower numbers.
Yeah, which is like why I wanted to ask you that, Jose, because you love Legion in the past, and
I still do. Why do you say it like I
well,
don't?
I'm not saying
love something. You could love something and not be like,
well, that's
what
I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't love Legion and everything. You took on this strong approach of like not liking it right now, right? And which is fine. That's your opinion and everything. And I'm just curious, like your approach and how you dabble with it, because it's fun. There's some things that still got to gripe, and just like Nick had said, you can't get everything for the game right now because they haven't printed all that stuff. But yeah, I've been asking a lot of people stuff. Like Adam, he joined our first league, the Legion Lads League. He was one of the newer players in the Bart League, and for him, it was just there's too many keywords. He didn't like that we had a bunch. I think there was 110 keywords we have in this game, and for a new player, that's very intimidating. Of just having to learn what they each do, and then you're just like, wait, what does that do? You're just like, oh, okay, So, um,
The keyword system isn't very, again, comparing to 40K, it's very different, right? From 40K, the keyword system. But I like it. I think, I know it can be daunting, but at least you know that when you see a keyword, if you have that keyword on your card, you know it does the same thing on their card. Like at least that's what's nice about Legion.
well, I was going to ask you, does 40K not have keyword?
So again, I'll only speak to when I used to play, which I stopped playing in they stopped playing 8th or 9th, I forget. It's not too long ago, but like right when Legion came out, that's when I stopped. A little after Legion came out is when I stopped playing 40K. So like 2020, around there.
Yeah.
They don't really have keywords because all your units have their abilities, right? And they're all different, and they all have their own weapons and their abilities. There was no, for the most part, there wasn't like a keyword that went across all armies, versus like charge on my card is charge on your card, charge on your card. Like they all do the same thing. They all do charge, right? So seeing on my card, I know what it does. That was a very different style to play.
Yeah, because like I don't have much experience with war games. As you guys know, Legion's my first one. I like the keyword system because you're right, Nick. For that reason, I just like, oh, you got charged. I know what that does already. It's just like I'm excited when a new keyword comes out because I'm like, oh, what does that do? I love the masteries on all the force users for the Clone Wars. Like that's such a cool thing. Like each one has their own mastery. I hope they keep doing that because that really gets me pumped whenever I see that. And I think that's what's most exciting about new units. Aqua Droids didn't have a new keyword, and I was kind of bummed by that, but it makes sense. You don't want to have over too many keywords. But like seeing like the Dark Troopers have what is it?
Unstoppable.
There you go, Unstoppable. That's cool. Like holy cow. Um, so yeah, so I'm very excited for that. Which brings me to a question to you, Nick. So AMG's got 3 games, right? Shatterpoint, MCP, and Legion. Well, I guess Legion and X-Wing and all that other stuff. But we're going to focus on those 3. And in particular, MCP and Legion. Do you feel that like they do the same thing? Because you've been playing MCP since day one, right?
No, I got into MCP when the X-Men came out. So I was like a couple years in.
Got it.
So yeah.
So like, do they do the same thing they did for Legion? And you can bring a Shatterpoint too. I know you play Shatterpoint as well, but like whenever they change something about it, is it like a print and play, and you have to print it out whenever they change like a new leaflet or something like that? Is it like the same thing? Like what you're seeing they do with Legion, they've done with MCP?
Not completely, no. So for MCP, they've done a little bit of both actually. So MCP, they have done some print and play where they've like, here's new cards, print and play these, like, but they've also produced packs too. They produce new character packs, they've used crisis packs, team tactics packs. So they have on like 3 different packs now, or even more than that. They have given you something you could buy, and here are the updated cards for these. So they've done that. But they have done a little print and play as well. But so not fully print and play. Like they have supported bringing out new cards. Like for example, there's a model coming out soon with new objective crisis cards, objective cards, and they're in the pack with the model. So it's not a print and play. They're going to be in the pack. Now, maybe they also release them print and play, but they will be official cards in a pack that you could buy. So they've stayed more official for the most part with MCP. Shatterpoint has been around long enough. They haven't needed to do anything yet. Nothing's been print and play. And in fact, they've come out since probably the last time you played. They've come out with 2 more mission packs. There's now 3 missions to play in Shatterpoint. All of them were official packs released that you bought, right? So they've all been official release card packs that you buy. So yeah, it's probably been more official things to buy versus print and play.
So that's what I'm kind of hoping this year, since April's gonna announce or bring the full game into motion. They have their core sets on the way. I'm really hoping for the way they're handling MCP and Shatterpoint, where it seems like they have a timeline and how they want to generate things. It seems like the last couple years they've just been playing with this new way of Legion. Then they gave us half of it so we could play with it. And then now that we get the rest of it, it's like, okay, now we're not going to have any more hiccups. Because I feel like this is a big hiccup. You know what I mean? And so we'll see. Because, AMG's, those are their baby games. But hopefully they handle. Because, there's big fans of X-Wings and Armada. And correct me if I'm wrong, X-Wing, they stopped making things for X-Wing, right?
Yeah, they've stopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
X-Wing is officially done as far as from the AMG side. Yeah.
So, yeah. Just wanted to get some intakes on that, guys. I know that was a long-winded tangent there.
Yeah, and hopefully, and again, hopefully you see that. Yeah, when they actually start producing things that you could buy. And again, there's nothing wrong with print and play, but we want some people like official things you can have. I'm one of those people.
Cardboard.
I will gladly pay money for a card pack. I don't know if that makes me, I don't know, stupid or whatever, but I'd rather buy a card pack than print it for free. Whatever I don't know what that says about me. But even like objective tokens, like we shouldn't be printing out our objective tokens on paper.
Yeah.
We should have those in an official thing that we could buy. Same thing with the half range tool, like that they don't have one of those that we could have, and even though they've already have it, it exists because it's in the which one of the Serenity
it's in
plays?
two of them. It's
two of them, right? So
the Grogu one,
the Grogu one, yeah.
I forgot the other one.
Yeah, so it even was something that they made before, and they still didn't give it to us. They gave it just to print out.
Well, how do you distribute it? You know what I mean? That's where I feel like the hiccup is in place because they're getting ready to distribute them that you have to buy in a core set, right? But how do you then distribute the players that are already there, right? And I think that's where like you said, we lose players is people are just like, I don't want to print it or I don't want to learn a new game. And then you got people new players that are just like, oh, if I buy this core set, I have everything.
Yeah. And what's so funny is it's not like AMG's shy of printing cardboard, because with this new methodology they have where all the languages come in every box.
Oh God.
They've been doing that with
I don't need.
They've been doing that with Shatterpoint and MCP for a while now. And I've got so many extra cards because you get 4 different languages. I've got Shatterpoint cards all over the place, and so they like to print they like to print the cardboard so that that's not the problem. And I know they did mention that they're going to make Legion that way, right? That's what's taking so long. Well, not taking so long, but they're repackaging it to be just like that, where when you buy a box, it's going to be across all languages.
Yeah. So, well, here's to hopefully a new year. I'm not giving up, Jose. I know you're out of the game, but I'll get you back into it.
Nah, man, it's not even that, dude.
Nah, I'm teasing you, man. I'm teasing you. Like it's
because VetFest, I'm playing Legion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no shame to playing another game. I got many hobbies. Dice throwing, all kinds of stuff that I love to play. Like, so there's nothing wrong. I'm teasing you. If anything, don't.
No. I get you're teasing me, and that's I get that, but it's just like it's not teasing me if I don't care. Like I just think the whole system, the whole way AMG's handling it is stupid in my opinion. I've said that from day one, and it's just like I said, like it's nothing they've said in practice has been true to a certain extent. 5 rounds we cut out turn 0 to make 5 rounds, make the game faster, make it flow better. Motherfucker, these games are taking longer than when I played Old Legion. Sorry, Nick.
It's why, and I'll die on this.
Don't make it. So here's the thing. So everything you're saying is just giving AMG an excuse. That I don't want excuses.
No. I'm on your side.
You came out on a public forum and said these games will be shorter because there's no turn 0. It's condensed into 5 rounds, and every bit of consensus has been these games are in fact longer. Secondly, one point that was made on I want to say the last episode of Scoundrels, where they were critiquing the interview where they're like, we no longer give you objectives that what was it?
Our player plays objectives.
And then Dash was like, you straight up defeated that purpose of saying that during that interview when you put that in the game to begin with. Yeah. So to me, AMG is so full of shit. Sorry, Nick. and it's annoying because it's
We
like
should have a
little
dollar jar every
a
time.
Swear
dollar
jar.
jar,
Jose,
right?
We need a
yeah,
swear
swear jar
jar.
every time.
Little things here and there that were just like I said from day one, change for the sake of change, because it's a lot of the stuff nobody asked for. Nobody asked for. Nobody asked for. We were asking for new missions. Here's a retarded game. Here's a retarded half a game, and you can get the
No.
rest later at a
So
fair price.
I will stand with you on the point that they made these game longer, and they only made these game longer because of the cover change. Like I hate it. It's cool, but it makes the game so long, and you have to math. Not everybody's great at math, so it takes longer. The same harp I have with Shatterpoint. Get rid of the skill tree.
Oh, I love the skill tree.
It just makes it so much longer, right?
No, you just have to learn it.
Oh,
That
Yeah,
no,
just
doesn't
learn
make
the
it that
game,
long.
JR.
make Shatterpoint like MCP, and I'll start playing Shatterpoint. Like, come on, man, just
No,
give it a like.
no.
It's so it. What do you? Okay, anyway, we don't need to go on that. We've already covered that, all that stuff. But back to LVO. We're going. It's me, Nick, Rob, and John. We're gonna be there. Nick, are you flying?
Yeah,
Cool.
I will never drive to Vegas ever again.
Why? What happened?
Oh, I just, yeah, I didn't like how long it took. That's
Uh,
all.
I was gonna say, did you go down Donner Valley?
No, no.
I learned about that, and I was like, "Whoa, that was a thing."
Yeah, no. I just won't do it anymore. I will fly.
Yeah. If I wasn't scared of flying, I would try. I would fly.
I've seen Final Destination 1 too many times to jump on a plane. I'm sorry.
um, so Jose, I'm gonna start with you because you're not going this year, which is a
Yeah.
bummer. But hey, even if you go next year for MCP, you going would be awesome. Um, what do you expect the lists are gonna be? Competitive and non-competitive. Like, what do you want to see in a non-competitive form, and what do you expect to see in the competitive scene?
Non-competitive. I want to see people do different stuff. And I've always been like a person to do that. Like I've never really gone with the meta, and I'm the type of player where it's like it's more impressive on my end if I can beat you and you're running sweaty try hard meta than it is for you to go back and tell your friends you smashed this guy. Oh, what meta was he running? Oh, he was running some jank. It's not impressive. So I'm always a fan of fun stuff, which is why I like Nick when he takes his bonkers list. Because here's the thing, based on last year, podcasts that we listen to, people we talk to, people we talk about, you never heard, um, you know, memorable things from these LVO stuff pop up as, oh, this was crazy because this meta went off. No, when you heard the Stabcast, for instance, after LVO, we got to hear Ryan talk about how he battled Fresno, California. It wasn't that we were playing meta and we were great players. It was he for 3 rounds in one day he took on the Legion lads. you know and that's
Yeah,
the memorable stuff I like you'll always remember the wild crazy stuff versus meta stuff. So the crazier you get, the more less meta you get. I'm all for it.
what kind of
And
jank list do you want to see that like would be cool,
oh,
but
I
it's not practical?
I want to see Empire with some Gab tanks.
Oh,
I don't even want them transporting anything. I just want to see raw. You have the points now.
mhm.
Back in 800 points, you could get 2 Gavs. You could get what's his name?
Beers?
Veers, and you could still get to 9x and have them be DLT 9x, with repairs. You got an extra 200 points, man. Like deck these Gavs out, put some repair guys in there, run them down people's throats. Cover's not a thing anymore. Gavs should be able to take things off the table, and it's going to be more durable when you're across the field from a meta rebel list that has 3 ATRTs. You're just going to blow them up.
I think
Like do fun stuff like that. I want to see somebody do, show me 4 Mandalorians and 6 Pikes in Shadow Collective. Let me see some Shadow Collective gameplay. Those are things that I would be like, damn, that list looks hilarious because I've done lists with Gar Saxon, Pikes, and and freaking Mandalorians, and it's weird because I can hit 1,000 points and shoot over 1,000 points in all the factions, but I have yet to construct a list in Shadow Collective that I've been able to hit 1,000 points in, filling all the
I mean,
slots.
you can.
Oh, how did I do it? I did.
I did Maul with 4 Mandos and then
Mhm.
Pikes in a syndicate. You can get to 1,000. You can
Oh,
even
that's
put a
preference because I did the long guns on the Mandos. Anyways, but the thing that sucks is the way the meta is. We're gonna see rebels fighting for their lives, hiding behind the ATRTs. We're gonna see Gar doing Gar things. You know, it's just that's why
so
and then you're gonna see EX cheese.
if I'm not, I could be mistaken, but I think a Gav tank, maybe the snail droid, are the only vehicles or unit for that matter that can cover 2 points, right?
No, the
POIs.
AT the AAT can.
The
The
AAT?
the bus.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
the AA5. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
A5.
The AAT can.
I don't think so.
On my favorite game, Priority
That
Supplies.
that's
You
if they
mean
shift
shifting?
them. Yeah,
Oh,
if they
shifting,
shift
Shifting
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
priorities. Yes, you
Yeah.
So
can. I did it. I did it with
Well,
John twice.
everything could do then shifting.
yeah, everybody could get in
No, but you
shifting.
said I'm just
Sure,
No,
sure,
without
it's
them
sure,
moving. Without them
sure. Yeah.
moving.
Stand,
Without
I
them
stand
moving.
corrected. Shifting priority is probably a lot of things can, but for like close the pocket, I think you can technically get 2 things. I don't know. Maybe not close the pocket.
no, not close the pocket. Close the pocket's too wide.
Research. It's got to be recover research. But yeah.
I just
Uh,
want to see some craziness out there. But
okay.
like I said, like
What do you think is going to take it?
so, here's the hot take. I fully expect. I fully expect. I can't do it. I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I think Geos are gonna have a field day
Oh, okay. Okay. Cheers. Cheers.
because nobody's expecting
I
them.
hope you're right. That's like,
Nobody's expecting them. I mean, okay, look at all the tournaments we've seen. Have you seen an entire Geo squad? I highly doubt it. Have you seen anybody taking Geos? I highly doubt it. 'Cause people playing CIS are playing EXGs. That's what when you take CIS to an event, you're playing EXGs. That's what it is.
yeah.
So I honestly think, like, I'm trying not to give away too much. Geos have the biggest opportunity to upset the entire balance of things
Yeah.
because nobody's gonna expect them to move that fast, and all you got to do is just start hammering. And at that point, they only got so many units, and Geos throw a lot of dice, and with no cover, with fake cover being a thing, and these objectives being so close, and all this stuff, like. I think Geos are going to be a shocker.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. Nick, same question.
Well, you're going to have to be more specific. Am I talking invitational or GT?
Well, okay,
Oh,
let's start off with the jank. What kind of jank list you want to see that does really well? You know, might even take GT, might even take IS. Who knows? Just like what would just like blow you away that won the tournament?
A rebel list that isn't taking 2 to 3 sleeper cell.
Really, just any rebel list.
Any rebel list that is not taking sleeper cell.
It's funny because like I know you're standing on that hill, but like, isn't that what you want? Isn't that what you wanted? A unit that comes out for rebel that's good.
No, so yes, you want good units, but I would like I was hoping they would do it differently. I was hoping it wasn't. So what they gave us was just ARC Trooper Light, right? It's like almost the exact same unit. I mean, they almost have the exact same
with a
keywords.
shittier sniper.
You do the exact same thing with them, right? It's like almost it's just ARC Light for rebels. I wanted a jank unit, right? I wanted a jank unit, but a unit that still can be productive on the field with scoring objectives, right? So that's what I wish Sleeper Cell was actually more a sleeper cell and not a military unit. So I don't want to like think I hate Sleeper Cell even though they're good. I just wish there was something different. But now with the success I've seen with Rebels list, they all have 2 to 3 sleeper cells in them,
But
like
can't
across the board.
can you have a good unit that's jank?
Yes, if it scores objectives, yes, yes. If there was a way, if there's ways for units to score objectives without having to just move shoot, right, and just they did something different.
You're talking
And
more utility, right?
more
Wise.
utility,
Yeah.
utilizing some of those, and I didn't have to create brand new keywords, but utilizing some of the keywords that are out there, like inconspicuous or infiltrator, things like that, right? Or even coming up with something new, like they did for commandos. Commandos got a new token that you placed that did things, right? So Sleeper Cell could have had something like that you place an objective, that you score 2 points on that objective, or whatever it was, right?
Mhm.
But
They should have had bombs.
so it would have been fun if we got something for Rebels that was more like that. So so now, yeah. So a jank list I'd like to see win would be a Rebel list without 3 Sleeper Cell units in it.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I think that'd be a cool concept is to have a unit that's like maybe it doesn't attack at all, but like if it's on the point, like it gets like shield 10 or something like that. Like it's just its whole role is to get the POI, right? But yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting thing to do. Okay, what do you think is gonna take the IS?
So I'll go one further. And I don't know what's going to take it. I guess I'll say that, but I'll say this. I would say that the top four, I'll just throw a prediction out there with no bearing whatsoever because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I think I'll say there only will be CIS and GAR in the top four.
Really? Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know. I think Robo has a shot with 3 supercells. I think they're that good. Like
They
I
are.
definitely underestimated them a lot. And so now I'm just like prepared to see them and just like, okay, I know what you guys do. So we'll see. But cool beans, cool beans. Any questions you guys have for or you want to ask for LVO?
Well, what do you
What do you
think it's
mean?
going to take? What do you think is going to I won't say win because
Okay.
you're playing in the invitational. So
Yeah.
obviously you want you to win.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'll throw that back at you. What do you think the top four factions will be in the IS in the invitational?
I definitely gonna see Gar, right? Hands down. I think you're gonna see Rebels, and I think you're gonna see CIS. I don't think you're gonna see Shadow Collective or Empire. I think Shadow Collective is in a good spot. I just think that since they got no new toys or anything, people are not taking it. And I think Empire's in a weird funk right now, right? It's a gun line, but this game is about moving, so they suffer tremendously for it. They get punished for it a lot. So uh, I think that would be my jank that I would want to see is either a Wookiee Battle Force list. I would love to see that like win some things, or some kind of Empire list with I don't know, whatever the range troopers. Oh, it'd be cool. Okay, all right. This is a jank list. Okay, I made a janky list. I'm gonna tell you guys what it is right here, and this seems a lot of fun to me.
Oh, I do need to throw out one clarification with my prediction though, just so everyone realizes. A Bright Tree Village list is not a rebel list, so that doesn't count in anything. So just so you know, that's not a rebel list. So Bright Tree
So if we
it
see Bright
wins.
Tree, that
That's
don't
not
count.
rebels. That doesn't count. It's not a rebel list. It's an
I,
Ewok list. It's not
I,
rebels.
I was tempted to bring the 14 act Ewok list, but that list I upgraded to have double squads, all Ewoks, just 10 Ewoks all around. So this list that I made is called Feeling Lucky. It's Din with his ambient rifle, Vader with Force Choke, Seventh Sister and Fifth Brother with Force Choke, and then 6 Riot Control Squads with this marksman. And all you're doing is just rolling to see if you get hot. That's it. So, and if that go to the GT or the IS and wins the whole thing, that'd be the ultimate jank right there. I just think that's just
Yeah,
gambling.
I don't think that's gonna win.
No, but it looks fun as hell. How bad would your opponent be if you like got like more than 50% on those rolls? You know what I mean? Like your opponent would just be, I think that would end like they would never play Legion again. That would end the community right there. All right, guys. I think that's all we got for our episode today. Next week, I think we do an episode. We could. We'll talk about it after the podcast if you guys want to do an episode before we go to LVO. Or we can just do an LVO episode afterwards. But yeah, anybody there that's listening, our one fan, if you're going to LVO, come say hi. You know, we'd love to meet you guys. And yeah, anything you guys want to add? Anything you guys want to add?
And you realize we're going to be on offset schedules too, as well. Me and John, you and Rob, we've got our 4 games on Friday. We play 3 games Saturday. You guys play 4 games on Saturday. So we're getting out at different times.
So, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I kind of
Yep.
wanted to do the same thing that Roman did. I'll get a chat going with you guys. Like Thursday night, we go to like Giovanni's. I think that'd be fun. But like I wasn't gonna say was, is there anything for Sunday for you guys?
Well, Sunday you have the doubles team tournament. So you can do that on Sunday. And probably if there's space, you can do pickup games. So I still have my MCP ticket. So I may bring my squad and go play some fun games on Sundays. We'll see. We'll see.
Can you?
Yes. Yeah, I have, because I have a ticket. I'm allowed to play. And in the MCP, they just do free play all the time. And on Sunday, they're doing a lot of like free play because that's their championship is going on. So a lot of the players don't have anything to play in. So Sunday is like a lot of like free play scenarios, different things like that. So because I still have my ticket, I haven't gotten rid of it, at least after this point. I could bring an MCP squad still and go play on Sunday.
Yeah, we are gonna be on off schedules. That's gonna be wild. But so doubles and the other one are they free to play or you have to buy a ticket for those?
Well, I think your Legion ticket gets you everything, but I think you have to sign up for the doubles. Like they have to know you're signing up for it. I could be wrong about that though.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Is Ryan hosting it this year?
Yeah, he's doing the team.
I freaking love Ryan when he hosts. They're hilarious, dude. Doubles is amazing.
Jose, anything you want to add?
Nah, man, just good luck to everybody over there. If we don't have a cast before then, good luck to everybody out there competing. And yeah, let me know when you guys get back how it was, because I'm very interested to see, because having 2 years of old Legion and then going into a year of new Legion, like I'm very interested in seeing like what you guys think comparison wise. I will fully accept you, Jeff, if you come back and you're like, yeah, that fucking sucked.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like either I'm gonna do really good and take the title, or
Oh, he said take the title.
or I'm gonna
Ooh.
be shocked and just be like, well, I didn't expect it. Because like aside from our local scene, which our local scene's kind of been struggling a little bit, I haven't really played in a like full tournament. So that's where I'm kind of like not nervous, but like unsure is that where the state of the game is for a broader sense, right? And this is gonna be my first experience with that and seeing how competitive they are doing all this stuff. So I'm excited. I think it'd be fun regardless. I think I'm gonna have a blast. I always have a good time when I go to LVO. But yeah.
This is your first war game. You're just a ride or die. Like I picture this game dying in the most ridiculous way, and you're just like, it's still good, guys. It's still good. And then the game's done, and you're just like, I don't know what happened. I was having so much fun.
You know what's funny is that my dad growing up, I played all kinds of games, board games, video games, all kinds of stuff. My dad always just played StarCraft 2, right? It was StarCraft, then StarCraft 2. And like he would never play anything else. I was like, hey dad, you want to play this game with me? He's like, nah, just StarCraft 2. And I never understood until Legion came along. Then Legion came along, I was like, I get it now. It's just a game that you just love that you just will always play. You know what I mean? That gets my itch. And like now I understand why my dad only plays StarCraft 2. So I don't know if any of you guys are like that, but yeah.
Oh, I'm like that with Call of Duty. I bought the PlayStation 5 when they were price gouging it, and I only play Call of Duty. Like I buy the new whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. I buy the new system all the time, and the only game that ever goes onto my hard drive or buy in disc is is Call of Duty, and no matter if it's a bad Call of Duty or a good Call of Duty, like I just play Call of Duty.
We'll talk later, but BO6 is just garbage. So I don't care for it. All right, boys. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Legion's not dead. We'll get back into it. And yeah, Nick, we'll have a good time in LVO. And Jose, we're gonna miss you, boy.
Fingers crossed for the summer.
Yeah, fingers crossed. When I get back, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna try to put out flyers. I'm gonna try to do some stuff, you know.
Missing, have you seen me, Jose?
Yeah, baby, come back. You know? But anyways, thank you guys for joining, and your listeners out there, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Deuce.